At 52 years old and with a divorce behind him, John was sure his love life was over. He felt invisible, an obsolete product, especially to younger women. To him, his age, his gray hair, and his past were impossible barriers to overcome. But then, he discovered something that turned everything around. He realized that 9 of the things men his age see as weaknesses were actually his greatest superpowers of attraction. In fact, the 9th skill is so potent and so counterintuitive that it transformed his reality in just 7 days. And I guarantee you, it's not any of the ones you're imagining. What John learned and what you are about to see are not manipulation tricks. It's a genuine personal transformation. It's a system for developing that magnetic charisma that only maturity can give you. The dynamic of younger women being attracted to older men isn't just a movie cliché, it's a recognized social and psychological pattern. And no, it's not just about money or status, although those can play a role. It's about a set of social skills that, if you cultivate them, make you an incredibly attractive option. In this video, I'm going to reveal the 9 skills that John practiced, 1 per week. Each one is based on self-discipline and authenticity, allowing you to create real, deep connections. By the end, you'll understand why your age isn't a disadvantage but your secret weapon. The first thing John had to master was one of the most forgotten skills in any conversation: the art of asking powerful questions. Most men, especially when they're nervous, make the mistake of talking endlessly about themselves. They try to impress, recite their achievements, tell their war stories. They think they have to prove their worth with a monologue. John was one of them, but the mature and truly attractive man does the exact opposite. He understands that the most interesting person in the room is the one who is genuinely interested in others. The skill isn't asking yes or no questions like, "Do you like movies?" It's asking open-ended questions, the kind that invite thought, that open a door to the other person's inner world. Questions like, what is something you're so passionate about you could talk about it for hours? Or, what's a childhood memory that always brings a smile to your face? These types of questions achieve 3 almost magical things. First, they demonstrate real curiosity, which is an incredible compliment. Second, you give her the spotlight, making her feel truly seen and heard. And third, you elevate the conversation above typical small talk, creating an almost instant connection. Younger women, often used to guys their own age who only focus on themselves, find this ability to listen with curiosity absolutely captivating. Practical exercise for the week. In your next conversation with a woman, challenge yourself to ask at least 3 powerful open-ended questions. Resist the urge to talk about yourself unless she asks. Focus on listening to her response and ask another question based on what she just told you. Notice how the energy of the chat changes. In the second week, John encountered a concept that at first sounded like a foreign language to him: emotional tension. Often, older men go to one of 2 extremes. They are either too paternal, creating a friend dynamic that has no spark, or they try to flirt as if they were 20, and the result is, to say the least, awkward. The key is in the middle, in what we could call mature flirting. Creating positive emotional tension is the art of playing with closeness and distance, with interest and slight detachment. It's not about playing games, but about masterfully managing the energy of the conversation. For example, you could be in the middle of a deep, intense chat, showing a lot of interest, and then suddenly, with a smile, you switch to a lighter, more fun topic. Or you can give her a sincere compliment and, right after, lean back a bit and give her space. This subtle push and pull generates anticipation and a desire for more. It communicates that you are a confident man who doesn't need her validation every second and who has his own world. That hint of unpredictability is magnetic. Younger women are often used to very direct and predictable flirting patterns. A man who knows how to navigate the conversation with this control and playfulness stands out from the rest instantly. It shows he's not desperate to get something, but that he's enjoying the process, the dance. And that security is one of the most attractive qualities that exist. Practical exercise for the week. During a chat, when you feel a good connection, give her a specific and genuine compliment about her personality or her way of thinking. Right after, smile, take a short pause, and switch to a more casual and fun topic. Notice how the energy shifts and that spark of intrigue is created. The third revelation for John was, ironically, the power of shutting up. We are terrified of silence, aren't we? We feel the need to fill every second with words, as if silence were an error in the system. The average man, when there's a pause in the conversation, panics. He starts blurting out the first thing that comes to mind, a bad joke, a silly question. But the mature, confident man understands that silence is a tool of power. Strategic silence communicates a total command of the situation. When she finishes speaking, instead of jumping in to respond, he pauses for 2 or 3 seconds. He maintains eye contact, nods slowly, as if he were truly processing what he just heard. This simple pause has several effects. First, it gives more weight to your words. When you finally speak, your response seems more thoughtful, more valuable. Second, you create a space for her to continue talking. Often in that pause, she'll add something deeper, something she wasn't planning to share. And third, and most importantly, you show that you are completely comfortable with yourself. You don't need to fill the air with noise to feel secure. That calmness is captivating. It conveys an unshakable confidence that is especially attractive to younger women, who are often drawn to the sense of calm and security an older man projects. Practical exercise for the week. In your next conversations, practice the art of the pause. When you're asked an important question, take a breath and take 3 seconds before answering. When she finishes telling you something, stay silent, looking at her with interest for a couple of seconds before speaking. Don't be in a hurry. Master the silence, and you will master the conversation. In his 4th week, John had to unlearn one of his worst habits: how to talk about his success and stability without sounding like a braggart. Many men believe that to attract a woman, especially if she's younger, they have to put all their achievements on the table. They talk about their car, their house, their job title, their investments. They turn the date into a kind of job interview where they are the product. The high-value man understands a golden rule: demonstrate, don't announce. True value isn't shouted, it's perceived. It's communicated in how you live, in your passions, and in the stories you tell naturally. Instead of saying, "I'm a successful vice president," you tell an interesting anecdote about a challenge you overcame in a project you were passionate about. Instead of saying, "I have an incredible house," you invite her to a dinner you've cooked yourself in that space. Value is seen in the details, in the quality of your clothes, even if they're not designer, in how you treat the waiter, in the passion with which you talk about your hobby, whether it's carpentry or astronomy. Younger women have a very fine-tuned radar for insecurity. The man who brags is shouting, "Please tell me I'm worthy." The man who subtly demonstrates his value is saying, "This is who I am, and I am whole with or without your approval." That is the difference between a boy seeking validation and a man who offers it. Practical exercise for the week. Think of an achievement or a quality you're proud of. Instead of blurting it out directly, find a story or an experience that illustrates it indirectly. Talk about your passions only when the conversation naturally leads there. Focus on sharing the emotion of what you experienced, not the status it gave you. If these first 4 skills are already making you see things differently, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because the next 5, especially number 9, are the ones that truly separate the men from the boys and build a bulletproof attraction. Reaching the halfway point of the journey, John learned the skill that is the glue for all the others: the ability to forge a real emotional connection. Physical attraction can light the fuse, but it's the emotional connection that keeps the fire alive. Many men stay on the surface. They talk about work, the weather, the news. They avoid important topics for fear of seeming too intense or showing vulnerability. The mature, emotionally intelligent man knows how to go deeper. He's not afraid to talk about dreams, fears, passions, and hopes. And he doesn't do it like an interviewer. So, what are your biggest fears? He does it by showing empathy and sharing something in return. If she mentions a dream she has, instead of saying, "Oh, that's nice," he asks, "And what excites you the most about that dream? How do you see yourself when you achieve it?" And then, perhaps he shares a similar dream he had, or a time when he felt something similar. Creating this connection is like building an invisible bridge between 2 people. It's about validating what she feels and showing her that you understand her on a level that few others have. Younger women, in particular, seek this kind of depth. They are often in a stage of self-discovery and uncertainty in their lives. A man who can offer them a safe space to explore all of that, who listens without judgment and shares his own wisdom, becomes a safe harbor. Practical exercise for the week. The next time she shares something personal, whether good or bad, instead of giving advice, say something like, "Wow, that sounds like it was a very intense, exciting, or difficult experience. How did you feel in that moment?" Listen to her response and, if appropriate, share an experience of yours where you felt a similar way. Focus on connecting with the emotion, not just the facts. In the 6th week, John learned to combat a vice of our era: oversharing. We live in a world of social media where people share every last detail of their lives. In this context, mystery has become one of the most potent forms of attraction. Maintaining a personal mystery doesn't mean being rude, a ghost, or a liar. It means not being an open book from day one. It's about understanding that attraction is fueled by curiosity. The man who lays everything out on the first date, his childhood, his exes, his traumas, his 5-year plans, kills all intrigue. He becomes predictable. There's nothing left to discover. The magnetic man reveals his personality in layers, as if unwrapping a gift little by little. He leaves some questions in the air, not to play hard to get, but with a smile that says, "That's a story for another day." Maybe he mentions an amazing trip he took, but without giving all the details. He talks about a project he's involved in, but without revealing the ending. Every chat with him leaves the woman wanting more, giving her a reason to think about him and look forward to the next date. This control over what you share demonstrates self-discipline and confidence. It communicates that your value doesn't depend on her knowing every corner of your life instantly. This slow pace leaves room for her imagination to do its work, and often, what she imagines is much more potent than simple reality. Practical exercise for the week. In your next conversation, be conscious of how much information you share. Choose 1 or 2 areas of your life, a curious hobby, a rare skill, a trip, and mention them briefly, without details. If she asks for more, smile and say something like, "Oof, that's a long story. I'll tell you about it another time." Leave topics open that can serve as hooks for future conversations. The 7th skill is one that is often misunderstood: leadership. In today's society, many confuse masculine leadership with being bossy or domineering. But real leadership and attraction isn't about imposing, it's about guiding with confidence. Both men and women seek a certain balance, and a decisive masculine energy is a key piece in the dynamic of attraction. Subtly leading means taking the pressure of deciding off her. Instead of asking the dreaded question, "So what should we do now?" or "Where do you feel like going?" a man who leads proposes a clear and attractive plan. "I know an incredible Italian place, and afterward we can take a walk by the river. I'll pick you up at 8. Does that work for you?" See the structure? He proposes a plan, but she has the final say. That's leadership, not dictatorship. This also applies to conversations. A conversational leader knows how to steer the chat from superficial topics to deeper ones, how to inject humor if things get too serious, and how to end the date on a high note, leaving the other person wanting more. Women like it when a man can take the reins calmly and confidently. It allows them to relax and enjoy themselves, knowing they are in good hands. This quality is especially valued by younger women who often look for a sense of direction and security in an older man that they may not find in guys their own age. Practical exercise for the week. For your next date, plan it yourself from start to finish. Choose the place, the time, and a possible second activity. Present the plan with confidence, but flexibly. During the date, take the initiative to guide the conversation. If you notice the energy dipping, have an interesting topic or a powerful question ready to reignite it. Your goal is to create a great, effortless experience for her. This 8th skill was the hardest for John to learn, but also one of the most powerful: authentic vulnerability. Most of us men have been taught that to be vulnerable is to be weak. We believe we have to project an image of an unbreakable rock at all times. But there's a huge difference between complaining and being vulnerable. Complaining is blaming the world for your problems. Authentic vulnerability is having the strength to share your imperfections and the battles you've overcome. Showing vulnerability isn't about telling her your problems so she can fix them. It's sharing a story of a past failure, and most importantly, what you learned from it. It's admitting with a smile a small insecurity you have. It's simply being human. When a man, especially one who projects strength and security, has the courage to show a crack in his armor, it creates a moment of profound connection. This action says several things. First, that you know yourself very well. Second, that your confidence isn't made of glass. It won't break by admitting you're not perfect. And third, and most importantly, you give her permission to be vulnerable too, creating a circle of trust and authenticity. For a younger woman, seeing that an older man whom she might idealize has also stumbled and come out stronger is deeply human and attractive. It shows that your wisdom isn't from a book, but has been forged in the fire of experience. Practical exercise for the week. Think about a past challenge or failure that taught you an important lesson. Find a natural moment in a conversation to tell that story. Focus on what you learned and how it made you grow. Don't tell it like a tragedy, but like a war medal, a testament to your ability to get back up. And we arrive at the 9th and final skill, the one John discovered that changed everything. This isn't so much a skill as it is the result of having mastered all the others. It's that state known as quiet confidence. It's not the loud, arrogant confidence of someone who needs to be the center of attention. It's an internal, deep, and silent security that is noticeable in every gesture. Quiet confidence is seen in your body language, a straight but relaxed posture, calm and steady movements, and direct yet warm eye contact. It's heard in your voice, a lower tone, a paced rhythm, with no need to speak quickly or loudly to be heard. It's felt in your energy, a calmness that remains unshaken, even under social pressure. It is the physical and emotional proof that you are a man who knows himself, accepts himself, and needs nothing from anyone to feel complete. This is the quality that younger women find most attractive in an older man. In a world full of anxiety and insecurity, a man who is an oasis of calm acts like a magnet. His tranquility is contagious. It makes others feel safe and at ease around him. This confidence doesn't come from reading a book or learning a trick. It is the result of having worked on the previous 8 skills, of knowing how to listen, of mastering your emotions, of knowing your value, of connecting, of leading, and of being vulnerable. It is the final reward of this journey of personal development. Practical exercise for the week. This week is not about doing, but about being. Focus on your internal state. Before entering any place, take a minute to breathe deeply. Feel your feet on the ground. Walk with intention, with your head held high and your gaze forward. When you speak, do so from a place of calm. Don't look for an outcome. Simply enjoy the moment, knowing that you are already enough. John's journey, from the despair of his divorce to becoming a magnetic man, was not a stroke of luck. It was a conscious process of cultivating these 9 skills. He realized that what he thought were his greatest weaknesses, his age, his scars, his experience, were actually the foundation of his new power of attraction. These 9 skills, asking powerful questions, creating positive tension, using silence, demonstrating value, connecting emotionally, maintaining mystery, leading with calmness, being vulnerable, and finally, projecting quiet confidence, are your roadmap. They are the path to transforming not only how you relate to others, but how you relate to yourself. It's not about pretending to be someone you're not. On the contrary, it's about becoming the most authentic, confident, and mature version of yourself. It's understanding that true attractiveness isn't in youth or being perfect, but in the wisdom, depth, and calm that only the years can give you. The attraction of an older man for a younger woman is often the result of self-discipline, emotional intelligence, and radical authenticity. Now it's your turn. You don't have to wait for a crisis to start. Choose one of these skills, the one that resonates with you the most, and commit to practicing it this week. The change won't happen overnight, but with each small action, with each conscious conversation, you will be building that quiet confidence that will make you genuinely attractive. If this video has brought you value, subscribe and tell me in the comments, which of these 9 skills are you going to start practicing today? Your transformation journey begins now.